What up, what up, what up? What's going on, everyone? What's up? What's a Friday? It's a happy Friday. We're here, kicking it up.
It's a happy Friday. It's a good Friday.
Yeah, it is Easter
Come on.
weekend.
You didn't miss that joke, did you?
Stop it. It's Easter weekend, Good Friday. A lot of us should have off. At least I have off. Shoot, that's all that matters,
The
right?
self-employed don't.
I'm sorry for your life, then. What's going on, everyone?
I'm sorry for your structured 9-to-5 life.
All right, whoa. We'll get into that another episode. Oh, man. So what's going on, everyone? I am Shadell, the greater half of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely fiance, Lorena.
Who that? Who that?
That wasn't you?
Who you seeing?
My bad. Laura.
I hate that. Especially when in an email when you can see it says Loren.
Laura. So, I was close.
And it says Laura. They respond Laura.
Hi, Laura. Hi, I'm just looking to talk to Laura. No, I'm Lauren. Okay, can I talk to Laura? No. So I'm here with my lovely fiance, Lauren.
There we go.
We wanted to talk, or I want to talk about our, about our experiences, interracial dating life, I guess.
Okay.
To give you guys some quick backstory if you're new to the podcast, we've been together for like 4 years and change. So of course, this happens every now and then. We bump into someone or we go someplace and like we feel like we get these weird vibes. We're gonna talk about it because I'm sure we're not the only like freaking like interracial couple that has these issues. And it's so dope to see like other interracial couples in these settings, which we saw like at one of the events we went to the other day. Do you not notice that?
Who?
That there's other people that were like us.
Last night?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I know, it's funny because whenever we see another interracial couple, and it could be like whatever races together, we're always like, hey, look at that. They're one of us. And yeah. And then like when there's specifically, it's like a black dude and a white woman, and they have a kid.
Whoa. Why does it gotta be a black dude and a white woman?
Because I'm getting there. Can you stop?
A black man.
Can you stop?
What? Oh.
I'm getting there.
Damn.
When there's those two, and they have a kid, because that's us, then we're like, oh, that'll be us someday.
Yeah.
With our kid.
Black man.
What's the problem?
Dog, why you calling me a dude?
I call a lot of dudes.
You couldn't say just...
I call girls dudes sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. Get out of your feels.
So we're going to talk about our experiences. I kind of want to start from like the beginning of our relationship because I feel like that's where like...
Going all the way back.
Like a lot of the stuff, like would you say more insecure about it, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was new.
We'll talk about that. So this was both of our like first interracial relationship. Mm-hmm. And yeah, in the beginning, we were pretty insecure because we went to like certain places. Like I remember we went to a friend's house for like New Year's Eve to like spend the night, and then we went out for breakfast the next day. And I'm not sure how much you want to get into this, but we went to like some local Denny's, and like there was some like blackos that were like a row across, like diagonally from us, and like you were saying you were getting like looks or something like that.
I was getting like death stares.
And like at that point,
like,
we were
hardcore.
We were only together like I think 3 months.
No.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was that same. It was a couple weeks. Yeah.
It was like so super new, and I felt so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. I'm like, come on. This whole idea that it's like I'm stealing your kind or however you want to word it.
I mean, a lot of races do that though.
It's stupid.
Like Italians. They do that, right? Am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't know so much about that. I'm disconnected from my family, so I don't know.
Italians, Asians do it. Like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, all races, ethnicities,
Jews.
cultures, whatever. But like, it's stupid. It's this whole like, oh, you're stealing them from us, and now we're gonna have less of them. And
I'm like, that makes no sense.
Like,
that makes no sense.
Just date who you want to. But yeah, that was so uncomfortable. I was getting like death stares, and they were doing the little whisper thing, and like
that's like our first
staring at us, and like.
Now that you remind me of, you remember that time when we went to go see Get Out a few years back, and like you said, like wasn't there I think I saw it also, but like as we were in our seats, like I think it was a lot of black people in the theater. I'd like to say there's like a handful of white people, and like they saw that we were together, like I think this group of girls, and like they pointed us out because the movie, if you don't know about the movie, it deals with race. I don't want to get too heavy into it, but yeah. So I think that was a thing. There's a lot of like so many things. Like so when I work from home, we go to grocery shopping every now and then.
We go every week.
Well,
heck, you talking about?
But I'm saying when I work from home, like during lunch, like we'll go grocery shopping, whatever.
Oh.
And it's like, man, we go there, and it's like you're not gonna see other people other than the elderly people that don't have a job to go to. You know, they're just doing whatever. Yeah, and it's like I get the weirdest vibes from these people because I always feel like you always run into at least one like old guy, some old woman that just like gives you like this stare or this look, and it's like, yo.
Well, yeah, the older generation is they're like really judgmental sometimes about it.
And like some of the things we got when we were first in a relationship was like, what do you call it? Like they asked like, oh, how do her parents feel about it?
Yo, that was the thing all the time. I don't know how much you got it.
No, I didn't get it that much.
I got it a lot. People would be like how are your parents with it? Are they okay with it? And I'm like, yeah. It's
like
cool.
I got it a few times throughout this, but I really don't get it that much. I feel like it's just more so like on you. Like I feel like it's always on the woman because I feel like if it's a white guy and a black girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say not for nothing. I feel like it's no. I feel like it's the white person, not for nothing. Which sounds awful, but I feel like that's usually how it's portrayed. True,
because maybe white people have more of an issue with it.
I mean, yeah, usually that's like the older people we see.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you got a point. I mean, black people have an issue with it, but they're not as heavy as like, yo. Like in my family, like.
It's interesting because it's the younger black people, I feel like, versus the older white people.
Well, shout out to my black men and women out there, but sadly, because of the food that we eat, I don't think we live long enough to really have those judgments.
Well, that's not morbid.
I mean, it's true. We get fed all this horrible food, and that's what happens.
Again, that's every culture. Italians live on cheese.
Yo, do you not see us eating rabbits? Look that up.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
They know what they were talking about. Yeah, I feel like you get that a lot more. I really haven't gotten that as far as a relationship goes.
My thing is, I always hate when I get it. I get how like when two black people are together, you're supporting each other because of like the hardships you guys go through, and I can't possibly understand that and all that. Yeah. I get that. I hate when it's like idolized with the whole black king and black queen, and like if you're, like, so that's amazing. But if it's, black guy with white woman, I'm not a queen. Like it's like it's not as special, or it's not as good as if two black people stand together. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting because there's people we know that post this stuff all over Facebook, like memes and quotes and everything. It's very interesting because apparently people close to us support us, but at the same time, it kind of makes you wonder because they're very adamant on posting those types of things. How like it has to be two black people together, like united. And I'm like, interesting.
See, I have a problem with like the posting stuff, but I can understand.
Well, it's interesting because I'm like, okay, then how do you really feel?
See, I can understand about the king and queen stuff. Like, I'm so on the fence. I get
it. Like I said, I get it because I can't possibly understand that stuff. But
so many things, like it's a historical thing when it comes to like the whole black stuff, where it's like, yo, growing up in like the 80s, 90s, like all this stuff, like during like the crack like era and all this stuff, like black men are always looked at as like animals, and like they're always like you see like the reports where like black men are more likely to be arrested over a white person, like just different things. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna give praise more to that because like there's been so many times in the past where laws and white people have come in to like stop the black family. So it's like I understand it, but I hate the people that are like super like on it where they're like, yo, if you're with a white person and you're black, or if you're with like a Spanish person and you're black, like I feel like if you're with a Spanish, like if you were Spanish, it'd be more acceptable because they're a minority.
Right. So like I just think it's kind of, it makes you feel uncomfortable when it's like these people are nice to your face, but then they post stuff like that, and and I'm like, okay, so like, are you kind of actually disapproving of this?
I don't really feel that way, and I don't take it that way. Because I don't want to play a what if game until I actually know. Because it's like that may be what you believe in, but it comes like, for example, when you're going to post the whole thing about the whole vegan and gluten free, and like you were like, oh, that seems a bit too offensive. It's like some people may take it the wrong way, and you took that back and you like reworded it. That was good. I feel like some people don't have that moment where they sit back and like think before like they post something.
True. That's
why I don't automatically judge it as something bad. Like they might not have bad intentions with it. It's just the way that it comes across is just like
That's true. So like what he's alluding to, on Facebook, we recently went to an event where there were food trucks. And I was taking a chance because whenever there's food trucks, I just assume that I'm going to have to eat stuff that is going to make me feel sick because of my diet. So we found this one truck, and it was Korean style food. Everything was gluten-free, nut-free, dairy-free, and then I could also get egg-free, which is the other thing I need. So we got these dishes. They were great. I took a picture. I wanted to share on Facebook how it's amazing that, you know, I found a food truck that was able to cater towards someone like me. It was literally the only one. And I'm like, oh, there should be more. So in my comment to someone who had commented on it, I was going to say more food trucks need to take note. They need to cater to more people with healthier lifestyles or like healthier food choices or all that thing. And then I looked at it and I'm like, I feel like if I say that, people are going to get offended because they're going to think I'm taking a shot saying that if they eat something, you know, that I don't eat, that they're not as healthy or whatever. So then I took it back and I said more diverse diets or lifestyles or something like that. And so that's what he's kind of talking about. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of similar where, yeah, people post stuff all the time without thinking. And it's like you don't think of the repercussions or, you know, how that can affect someone
how
who
other people are
sees
going to
it.
take it. And it's like, that's why I don't pay it. I don't like it, just like you, because I feel like that's not right. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not mad at that person.
But you have to understand, from my point of view, is where it's a little more uncomfortable. Sure, you don't really care.
No, well,
the white
I do
girl
care because
does.
I'm
the white one that's taking over the so-called, you know, black elegance or whatever you guys.
Whoa, black excellence, dog.
Fine.
And I'm excellent. Period.
I understand that, but you know what I mean? Like when all of a sudden it's two black people get together and you guys like take over the world.
Like,
and I understand
like that. Nipsey and Lauren London thing. Like,
it's like I understand it. You guys can be amazing. Like I think power couples are a thing in general. I think it's amazing to be a power couple no matter what you look like. But like that's where it gets uncomfortable. Is like I feel like now I'm ruining that because I'm the white person coming in, not having that, you know, to bring to the table.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay.
It's
like suddenly it's seen as not as excellent because it's not like
I feel like
a power couple going through the same race struggles.
And I don't know about you, but I feel like that edge is taken off a bit when you actually have kids.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people actually see like, okay, you both are raising kids. These kids look to be like having a good lifestyle, so it's not bad. But I feel like if you don't have kids, there's that stigma where it's just like you're in a relationship because you guys are different races, and like and there's that whole thing from like back in like the 90s and 2000s where it's like because celebrity like basketball players or football players were like getting white women instead of black women.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it was a trend.
That stigma, and it's still there, and it's just like people, no. Like,
that's the thing. Yeah, people see it as a trend, especially like the Kardashians. Like they all did it.
Like, and the thing is, I look at it, for example, like, what's tough is, like, I don't know how to really like get into this. I'm like more of like a Donald Glover, Jordan Peele type of black guy.
I'm not sure what that means.
So I'm like one of those black guys that like black women probably wouldn't gravitate to. I'm not someone that's gonna play like the hood stuff or it's just like someone that's like unaware of like the world and different things. Like, I'm like very like I'm trying to learn more. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to like do this stuff, and it's like it's hard to find someone that like fits that. I found some black women that do, but the thing is, like, they're probably already taken, and they have like this own style that is not who I am. Like who's someone I can think of? I don't know how to explain it. It's like there's certain types of guys. Like even though I'm black, I don't fit into that type of guy that a black woman would want, or the majority would want, I would say. Because as a black person, you're portrayed as you have to be tough. You have to be like. You have to be a certain like height, like you have to be all these things. Are you following what I'm putting down?
Yeah, but I feel like it's stereotyping.
It is, and that's my issue, and that's why like.
No, I feel like you're stereotyping the women. You're basically saying.
I'm not.
Like,
I went to in my high school, it was diverse. You had black, white, whatever race type of women.
I had like 2 Hispanics at mine.
Yeah,
it was like, not diverse.
The girls that like were there, like there was one girl that was into me, and it's like I wasn't into her because I'm not into like we had different. That wasn't my type. It wasn't because of her race. It was more so of like what was she about? Mm-hmm. Like I want someone that's gonna be grinding, someone that's just not gonna be like like I'm a stand still. I'm cool where I'm at. I'm comfortable. And like there was some women that were black women that you could tell, even though we were like little kids in high school, that like, okay, I dig this person. It is like I dig it, but like there was just something that wasn't there where they weren't feeling that energy from me. So it's like it is what it is, and that's what like it's tough. It's I'm not your typical black guy. I don't really know how to freaking explain it. But if you get it, like I feel like other black men, if I was talking to another black guy, he would get it. Like, I'm very like technical. Mm-hmm. I'm not so. I don't care about the shoes. I don't care about freaking looking crazy. I'm not looking a mess, but I'm put together. It is what it is. But I'm not dressing fancy. I'm not like those. I'm not the black guy that a lot of black women look to see, because we're always trained to be like, your material that you have on you, or your car and all that stuff, like that's what I want. I value you more because you have these things. I feel like in the black like lifestyle. So I'm not like the one that a lot of black women that aren't. I
feel like you're just digging yourself a hole.
I'm not. You wouldn't get it because you're not in this.
I'm just saying, don't.
For example, you know Donald Glover, right?
Yes.
Gonna be in Lion King. Can't wait to see.
I'm gonna cry.
Me and Donald Glover would get along on point. Super technical person that looks like super smart. A lot of black women that I know probably wouldn't like him if he wasn't famous. And was just your average guy.
If he wasn't famous.
And was just your average goofy looking kid. Because he was goofy. He was in comedy and he branched out.
Right.
Like that's literally like how I am. So that's why it's tough to find someone that's within that same race, because you wouldn't like me for me. You would like me because of how I dress, the shoes I have on, all that stuff. Like that's my issue. Where it's like if I find someone from another race, they're not looking at my material things of like, okay, like yeah, I dress well, but I'm not like I don't have like the new Jordans on or a fancy like I don't even know, like shirt or jacket or whatever the heck that's like Louis or Gucci or what, like all these material things that don't mean anything that black people put so much emphasis on. I'm not digging a hole. It's just you don't understand like this culture part. That's what like I'm trying to get into.
Okay, I'm just saying don't insult mass amounts of people.
No, I'm not. It's tough because I'm going based on my experiences. So that's where it's tricky, because I'm going based on my experiences. there's like probably two girls I can think of off the top of my head that like out of like everyone else that was in my school that was a black woman that like I felt like there was like it would have clicked. But of course, like it didn't seem like that was the case on their side. So it's like, here we are. Mm-hmm. It's not because of me. It's not because I have a preference over. I mean, well, you can have a preference on whoever you want to date. That is what it is. But it's not because I had a preference on like the race where it's like.
Which is very interesting because I feel like a lot of people actually get offended if you have a racial preference. Like, you can have preferences weight-wise, eye color-wise, hobby-wise, job-wise. You can have preferences on everything else, but if you actually have a preference on a race, that's where people get insulted.
It depends on what race you are that you have that preference.
But that's
we'll say that. If you're,
why can't you have? Like me, I was open to whatever.
I feel like if no matter what race you are, outside of being black, you can have your preference. If you're a white girl and you prefer to have only white men, cool. If you're a white girl, you prefer to have only black guys, cool. Like, I feel like if you're a black man and probably woman, I'd like to say, I feel like if you have a preference and say like you don't date black men or black women and you date like outside of your race, you follow what I'm saying?
Yes, but why is that a problem? Why?
Again, I feel like because of that stigma of...
Well, that stinks, though. Again, like, you should just be able to have a preference.
And, like, I don't care.
Honestly, I think it's the same, though. Say, okay, I only dated black guys, and then, like, on online dating or something, say a white guy said hi to me, and I was just like, oh, I only date black guys. I would still get, like... What is that word?
You'd still say something. Like,
I'd get something in return. I can't.
I don't know why you would get anything in return. Probably from a bunch of other white men, yeah, because they'd be offended. But
well, that's what I'm saying. I'd hear it.
Black guys would be like, "Yo, what up?"
But that's what I'm saying is I would hear it. So I think it's a problem all around.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, because just like we were saying about the black girls in Denny's, I feel like white men are ones that get offended too. Yeah. I think it's like opposite starting to become a thing. In the opposite races.
It's starting to become a thing because 10 years ago I wouldn't have said that's the case. But I showed you a thing on
white guys
Twitter.
Are getting threatened.
Well, yeah, I showed you the thing on Twitter where it was like this white girl was saying like, I don't know, like something about like her not liking white guys, and like this white guy like had a problem with it, and like, yo, people were just roasting this guy in the Twitter replies, and I'm like, damn,
they get threatened. I'm like. Oh, again, there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's plenty of all types of color fish in the sea. You'll still get your color fish if you want it. You know, like it. I
hate that we're so focused on race in this world. That's my issue.
Well, and so heavy on race. Why are we so threatened? You know, it's hilarious because we want to be equal and we want good, you know, everyone to be kumbaya and everything's amazing. But at the same time, then we get so upset if races start to mix. It doesn't make sense. Like, if we want everyone to get along and everybody's rights to be heard and respected and voices and all this, well, then why is it a problem that then we're commingling? Come on. I just don't get it.
I don't know.
Love who you love.
So that's
it.
Yeah.
And I never saw this coming. I was the person that came from, you know, a white family. So, like, and to my knowledge, no one had ever dated outside our race. But, like, I never saw you coming. I was just on a website, and you just were, like, it was your personality that got me first. And then I was like, oh, okay, so this is different. Like, I wasn't closed off to it, but I also wasn't looking for it.
Yeah.
You know, like I was raised in a white family. So I always assumed I would be with a white person. Mm-hmm. And I had been in the past, but then this happened and I was like, all right, cool. So like with me, it's not like I was out to steal you from someone, like to steal you from the other side or whatever. Like I was like, we clicked. And cool, like I'm just like, whatever.
It's funny because the date I went on, which we talked about on the past episode on Tuesday, mm-hmm. The first date I went on was with the black girl, which it's not like, again, I didn't have an issue with her race. It was funny because she was mixed, but like of course you wouldn't know that based on her. But like I saw pictures of her, like her family, like she had like a white grandma and like this and that. I'm like, damn, that's so interesting. But like, does it? I don't know. I have so many issues from it. Like this, like for example, when we go to family events, not even events, but like it's Easter. It's gonna be Easter Sunday, so I'm gonna go out with your family. We're probably gonna go out with mine, and it's just like I always feel like I get weird vibes. Like there was a time we went to Red Lobster with your family, and like I just felt. I think there was what couple was it? Was it a white couple? I think it was an older.
Were we in
couple.
that really big booth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a white couple, and I just got bad vibes from it.
Yeah.
Like it's always weird. I
remember that.
It's always weird going out with your family, not because of them, but because like I'm that one black guy with like 4 other white people around me.
Well, and then it's obviously the same with me. Like I'm now the minority, which is interesting. Like
but I don't know. I feel like it's like less weird. Am I wrong?
It's less. I don't think I get as many weird looks as when you go out with mine.
I feel like it's so like I feel so much more pressure. Like we go to Olive Garden, and I just feel like I stand out. Like here, I'm just here.
I'm here with this white family.
Like I feel like I'm in like a scene of Get Out whenever I go out to eat. Like
they're so white, they're practically transparent.
Someone's just waiting to take a picture of me with the flash on so I can wake up. Like, yo, get out.
Oh my god. Rude. Rude.
I'm gonna die.
Rude.
Oh god.
Rude.
Damn.
So like you knew about us spitting on you? Dang.
I need to get out of here. They're just waiting. Like, yo, let him go to the gym a couple more times, then I'm gonna want that fresh body. You know,
look at all that muscle, that protein.
God. That's why your mom's like, man, look at you. Like, shoot, I want me a black body soon.
Oh my god.
Shoot.
No.
Oh man. What other like? Our friends are cool with it. They don't say anything, but I assume like our friend, like
literally, like all of our friends are.
No one said
whatever
has ever said anything.
I mean, we also have a couple friends that are in interracial relationships too, so that helps.
Do we? Yeah. Like also, like my family's cool with it. I had to think for a second.
Do we?
I had to think. I was like, wait, do we?
Ooh.
And like, so like my family's cool with it because like literally. The people that currently are dating in my family, they're in interracial relationship.
Oh, it's hilarious. Okay, so first, me and Chanel get together, right? And then like a year later, one of his sisters is with he's Hispanic?
Yeah.
Hispanic. And then like the next year, his other sister's with white, and then another white guy. And like it's hilarious because we just kind of started like an interracial chain in his family.
Well, it's also
like,
because we were never like
very interesting.
My family never pushed race. Like it was just there was no real talk about it, and it was just like, hey.
I just think it's funny that we just kind of like started the trickle down effect.
There was never an issue. Like if I ever brought it up when I was a kid, like if I like there's never any push.
Thinking back, my family. I remember when I told my parents, and my mom didn't care. My dad was a little taken back. My dad was like, oh, all right. Like, he wasn't mad about it, and he wasn't, like, offended or gonna stop it or, like, against it. But I remember he was just kind of like, oh. Like, he was kind of, like, surprised. And so, that was interesting.
Man, I was surprised. And then, like, your sister, like, followed after, and I was just like, oh.
Oh, yeah. Well... we won't get into that.
Oh, we just started like an interracial
trend
party
with all of our siblings.
Oh,
like
shoot. Damn, what other things? Like we've had so many. So one thing I forgot to say earlier, we're less insecure. We're probably not at all about it these days.
Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, I still pick up on when people are weird about it.
Yeah. Like we went to we talked about in a past episode, we went to ring shopping, and like the first place we went to,
I'm more defensive about it now.
I have a problem, yeah.
Yeah, like in the past I would be awkward. I would be like weird and like feel just uncomfortable.
Yo, you shame me on it, I'm gonna shame if someone
But
ever
now
has
I'm
to,
like defensive because I'm like, no, this my boo thing. Like, what are you gonna say
like,
right now? Like, are you
it's-
really coming at me?
it's like, yo, who, like, you're not even paying any of my bills. Like, why do you have a problem with who I'm
Yup.
dating? Like, what's, like,
This is what I'm saying.
like,
Every time, love is love. Don't care what you look like, who you love.
Well, that's the thing.
Who you want to have sex with, whatever. I don't care.
And it's like, to touch on, to go get a little off topic, to touch on like you know, LGBTQ.
Plus,
It's like, what, like, I don't care. Like, I have some gay friends, and it's like he gets a little details about things, but I'm just like, other than
I love
that,
him.
that, I'm just like, why do I care? Like, I don't care who you're seeing, who you're kissing. Like, it doesn't
literally
matter.
not going to affect me in any way. It's not going to change how I live my life. It's not going to change when I make money. It's not going to change my happiness. It's like, literally, it doesn't do anything to me. And that's how people need to look at it all the time.
Yeah.
What is it doing to you? How is it affecting your life? Is it affecting when you go home to your kids at night? Is it affecting your commute home? Is it affecting like what food you eat? Like, no, like, you're fine.
And like, it's come to this point, whenever I notice it, especially in older people,
Especially
like, I just straight, because I don't get it a lot in like younger people.
Yeah.
But when I see in these older people that are just staring and like they seem like they have an issue, like I'm just gonna stare at you. Like, I have no problem staring at you back as you staring at me.
Yep.
Like,
I'll give like a glare, and I'll and if they really like try it and they're like staring long, I'll be like, what?
Like, no one said anything to us, which I'm cool with, but it's always just the
but it's the
occasional
implication.
looks.
Yeah.
And it's always from these older people. I'm like, yo, get with the times. Like, you're falling out of loop.
We're taking over anyway.
Yeah, I really
you guys
feel
will
like
be gone sooner or later, and then it's gonna be this way in the future.
Yeah.
You know, like they had a meme online, and it's like it said by 2050 everyone's gonna look like this, and literally everybody was like a shade of brown.
Yo, what's gonna happen is everyone's gonna be like, yeah, within like that,
whether
like,
you're
brown
super
range.
light tan or you're darker, like everyone
Yeah.
was just kind of like in the mix of some sort of brown somewhere,
You're gonna be like in that mix of brown,
which makes sense because
You're
of all
gonna-
the people mixing.
We're gonna have electric cars. We're gonna have climate's gonna be a lot better. We're gonna be eating vegan
Climate's
food.
gonna be a lot better. I mean, we'll see. We've done a lot of irreparable damage,
Dog,
but okay.
That's great, but we're moving to like something that's better.
We'll see.
As these people, no offense to our older listeners, but as these people that aren't like transitioned into like a better lifestyle for everyone instead of just being like so exclusive. Yeah, a lot of things just get better. Just like, yo, love everyone. Like the event we went to about the lanterns, I didn't know what it was about. To be straight up with you, but we had to like put like lanterns or like these like right lanterns.
Yes.
Yeah, like into like this like lake, and it was like all about like unity and peace. I didn't know that. I learned that as we were there.
Good job. Good job.
Yo, you said if I wanted to go somewhere, and I was just like, sure.
Yeah, and like it was about like people letting go of stuff or putting out into the universe what they want and that kind
Yeah.
of thing, and just like being one together.
Yeah.
Just, we're all here for similar purposes. We're all
Yo.
here to just be united.
On
It was
another
nice.
topic, talking about that event, it was nice. I didn't feel any like everyone was just there. It was chill. Like, yeah, it was a lot of people there, and that was the annoying part. But I didn't get any bad vibes. Like it was
just
it was
we're all
nice.
kumbaya. It was
So
great.
I did like that event. I didn't have a single issue. Yeah. I think that's what we got. I think that's what
Love
we got.
each other.
Yeah, like we've had experiences.
And
I'm
let
sure,
other people love who they want to love.
as I'm sure as other people that had, their own experiences. If you want to send us anything that you've been into, as you've been in an interracial relationship, if you currently are in one, send us an email. Hit us up on social media. Links all below. PagingTheSimpsons@gmail.com. We'll love to freaking talk about it on the next episode. Yeah. That's pretty much all we got. Once again, shout out to you if you're watching on YouTube, listening on all streaming platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, all those great places. At this point, let's wrap this bad boy up.
Okay.
So As always, guys, if you don't know, I am Shadell, one half of Paging the Simpsons. I am joined by my greater half.
Oh!
God damn.
Now everyone's deaf. He did it, guys. He did it, guys. He's one half and I'm the greater half. Oh my gosh, we're getting somewhere. Woohoo!
Come on.
I'm Lauren, the greater half. Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Bye.
Peace.